The ViewCube is an interface tool that you can use to help you navigate within a 3D view. The ViewCube is a persistent, clickable, and draggable interface that you can use to switch between standard and isometric views of your model. By default, the ViewCube displays whenever you switch to a 3D view. When the ViewCube tool is visible, it initially appears in the upper right corner of the active window, although it can be positioned in one of the other corners. When initially displayed, the ViewCube is in an inactive state. When inactive, it provides visual feedback about the orientation of the current 3D view. For example, if I press and hold the Shift key and the roller wheel on the mouse simultaneously, I can interactively orbit around the model in 3D. As I do this, the ViewCube changes to match the orientation of the model. I can also tell that the ViewCube is in an inactive state because it appears slightly transparent, so that it doesn't obscure the view of the model. When I move the cursor over the ViewCube becomes opaque. This indicates that the ViewCube is now in its active state. Also, the cursor changes to an arrow with a small cube to indicate that the cursor is over the ViewCube. When active, you can use the ViewCube to reorient the model. There are 26 defined areas that you can click on to reorient the model, including 6 that correspond to standard orthographic views of the model. If I click on a corner of the ViewCube, the model reorients to a 3/4 view based on 3 sides of the model. If I click on an edge, the model reorients to a half view based on 2 sides of the model. If I click on a face of the ViewCube, the model reorients to an orthogonal view. For example, if I click on the front, the model changes to a south elevation. Notice that when in an orthogonal view, triangles appear near each edge. I can then switch to a different orthogonal view by clicking one of these triangles. For example, if I click on the triangle near the top of the cube, I can switch to a plan view. When oriented to one of the orthogonal views, notice that there are also 2 roll arrow buttons displayed near the ViewCube. You can click on these buttons to rotate the current view 90 degrees clockwise or counterclockwise. When oriented so that you can see multiple sides of the ViewCube, you can also simply click and drag on the ViewCube to interactively reorient the model. You can also click and drag on the compass to rotate the ViewCube. Also, when the ViewCube is active, a little house icon appears. If I click on that icon, the ViewCube returns to its home view, which by default is a southeast 3/4 view. But you can set any view as the home view. To do so, after reorienting the view, right-click on the ViewCube and then choose Set Current View as Home from the shortcut menu. You can also display the context menu by clicking the small arrow button to the lower right of the ViewCube. Be aware that the context menu includes a number of other tools that you can use. For example, in addition to setting a different view as the home view, you can also select a different elevation and make it the front view. To do this, expand the Set Front to View flyout and choose the desired orthogonal view as the new front view. To set the front view back to the south elevation, choose Reset Front. You can also use controls on the shortcut menu to reorient the model to a specific view, a specific direction, or a specified plane. For example, to reorient the model to a specific view, expand the Orient to View flyout, and then choose the desired floor plan or elevation from the respective flyout. You can also use the Save View option to quickly save the current orientation as a new named view. If you choose Options, Revit displays the ViewCube tab of the Options dialog. Here, you can control various ViewCube settings, such as its position, size, and opacity. If you make changes in the appearance or behavior of the ViewCube, you can restore it to its default settings by clicking the Restore Defaults button. If you don't want the ViewCube to display, you can turn it off. To do so, switch to the View ribbon, click on the User Interface drop-down button, and clear the ViewCube checkbox. When turned off, a ViewCube button will then display in the navigation bar. You can quickly turn the ViewCube back on by clicking this button.